All right, folks are starting to join in now, both on the live and in the Zoom. So we've got a few minutes here, guys. We're just going to let everybody join in before we get started. Hi, Cheryl. Welcome to everybody who's joining on the live on YouTube. Welcome to everybody who's joining in on the Zoom call. Got about 5 minutes till 11:11, so we're just going to let everybody join in and get connected before we get started here.
kind of obsessed with my little animation thing. It's kind of mesmerizing. I don't even know how I did that or why it's doing it. A few more people are joining in on the live on YouTube. Welcome to everybody who's joining on YouTube. We've got about 3 minutes till we get started, and we're going to just let folks join in the call. I'm sure we're going to have a flood come in here right at 11:11. So. It's quiet. I was going to play music, but we can't with the copyright stuff. So
until it's yours.
Yeah, until it's mine, which the mantra is coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Good.
Yes, it is. Got a few more minutes here and then we'll get started. It's almost 11:11. Good morning. Good morning to everybody who's joining in. We've got just a couple minutes till 11:11. Letting everyone join in on the live and also in the Zoom. Got some comments coming in on the live chat already. Welcome to everyone who is joining live on YouTube. Welcome to everybody who's joining here in the Zoom. It is 11:11 and I'm going to give it just a minute here for anyone else to join in on the Zoom, because once I start the presentation, I won't be able to see that. And welcome to everybody joining on the YouTube. You guys can write in the comments section here in the chat in the Zoom. You can also comment on the live. And again, it is 11:11. We're going to give it just a minute here. All right, let's stop the share. There we go. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to our 11:11 Global Healing Circle. For those of you who are joining on the live on YouTube live stream on Buddhist Biohacker, you can use the chat box to ask questions, share comments, anything that you want to talk about, you can do on there. I have it up here on my phone. For all of you guys in the Zoom, you can use your chat box on the Zoom, and I'll continue to let folks filter in here as we get started. But welcome, my name's Lisa Gunshore. I think all of you guys know that, but for everybody out on the YouTube, that is who I am. And I am the Buddhist Biohacker and the host of the channel. And I'm also a trance channel and Ayurveda practitioner. And we have been doing these 11:11 global healing calls really since 11/11 of 2019, but we've really ramped them up since the quarantine really hit the United States. Let's see, back in March, it's been almost 2 months of quarantine at this time. And this is probably our 5th or 6th or 7th circle during that time. And so we have a special announcement today. I have with me Becky Prater. Say hi, Becky.
Glad to be here.
Yep. There's Becky. And let's see here. Now I have to figure out how to unpin your video. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you. Okay, here we go. Technology. All right. And so what we're going to talk about today, we have a couple things. I actually have a teaching and a presentation for you guys about dimensions. And then I'm going to hand it off to Becky, and we have just a really special announcement today about our planet, about co-creating our earth. And I'm so very excited about that. So the first thing I'm going to do here is bring up my presentation. And what I can tell you guys is we've been talking about 5D, moving to that 5D reality, going to 5D. And it dawned on me, maybe we don't all know what 5D even means. And maybe I don't even know what it means. And yesterday morning, I woke up and I felt just this strong message from Spirit. 5D schmivd, like let's go to 11D. And there's really nothing holding us back. And so I started thinking about that. I was like, well, what does that even mean? So I put together some information for us so that we can be informed on our 5D reality and what 5D to 11D and beyond means. And so we're going to go through these dimensions for the first part of the call. I don't think it's going to be too long, but it's a lot of information all at once. And the one thing I want you guys to remember is education. Anytime we learn something, it expands our consciousness, it expands our awareness. And I think it's great for us to understand these dimensions so that we can live beyond them. That is what I think. And so we're going to go through that first, and then we're going to go over to Becky, who has some great things to share and teach as well, along with our combined announcement today, which I'm really excited about. And I think you guys are really going to love it and get behind it. So let me just share my screen. Let's see here, going back to my little slideshow. Here we are. Okay, we're going to go back to the beginning here. I hope everybody can see that, and everybody on the live, hopefully you can see that as well. So we're going to talk today about vibrating 11D, and what does that even mean? And so here we go. Are you guys ready? Maybe I can be ready. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, man, technology, you guys. You'd think I'd be better at it in 11D, right? Okay, so I want to start out by just talking about what is a dimension. What even is that? A dimension, the definition in Webster's dictionary is a measurable extent of some kind, such as length, breadth, depth, or height. So that is what a dimension is in the dictionary. Now, going beyond the dictionary and looking at our good friend Wikipedia, three-dimensional space serves as a 3-parameter model of the physical universe. So a 3D life, okay, 3-dimensional life does not consider time, actually. So when you think about just 3D, that's what you're seeing with your eyes, your physical eyes, is that 3-dimensional reality. A 4-dimensional space, or a 4D space, is a mathematical extension of 3D that includes time. So for the most part, we've all been operating in a 4-dimensional reality for quite some time. We have the 3 dimensions, height, width, length. We also have time. And I loved this definition I pulled. I have the reference there. It's well worth reading the article. I'll probably post it to my social media later today. But dimensions are simply the different facets of what we perceive to be reality. So when you think of our perception as our reality, right? Like dimensions are simply the different facets of what we perceive to be our reality. And so the conversation that's been had all over the planet in alternative communities is that we are in fact experiencing multidimensional realities that are all different. And some folks are in 4D, some are in 7D, some are in 11D, some are in 3D, right? Like we're all in these different realities. Sorry, I'm going to let somebody into our call here. Okay, here we go. So we're all in these different realities. So we are immediately aware of the 3 dimensions that surround us on a daily basis, those that define the length, width, and depth of the objects in our universes. So that is the basic fundamentals of the 3D, 4D. So when we talk about living 3D, living 4D, that's your linear timelines. We have time, which time is a construct that is a human construct, right? Human beings constructed the idea of time. We use the sun, we use the stars, now we use watches, right? We have these constructs for time. So this is all something that we developed in our own experiences. Okay, so now we're going to dig into these dimensions. And let me tell you, this is going to make your head explode. So get ready. This is a fire hose of dimensions. So I have up here at the top, again, the first dimension is length. Second dimension is height. Third dimension is depth. Fourth dimension is time. So again, these are the 4D reality that we've existed in for many, many eons, that all sentient beings exist in, okay? Doesn't mean that all throughout history, we haven't experienced time and other dimensions in other ways, which is what we're going to talk about. So the 5th dimension, this is what everyone's been talking about, right? 5D is the buzzword. This is the buzzword that's happening right now. In 5D, we see a world slightly different from our own that gives us a means of measuring the similarity and differences between our world and other possible ones. So again, I'm wrapping my mind around this as we're talking about it and as I was researching this yesterday and today. But ultimately, the 5th dimension is that there's a possibility of other worlds and that we can compare the differences between our world and possibly another world. And so for those of us in our alternative communities, perhaps we're talking about Arcturians, perhaps we're talking about other galaxies, other planets, perhaps we're talking about the astral plane, the causal plane, these higher dimensional realities, right? That's part of that 5th dimensional thinking. There's other worlds out there. Now, the 6th dimension, when you get there, it's a plane of possible worlds where you can compare and position all the possible universes that start with the same initial conditions as this one, i.e. the Big Bang Theory. So 6th dimension, you guys, is truly just that other worlds that have the same frequency, the same setup as us scientifically, that we can access those other worlds. That's 6th dimension, okay? And if you can master the 5th and 6th dimension, you're traveling back in time or going to different futures. So let's talk about that in our world, our alternative realities, which is, and our alternative lifestyles is, for how many years have all of us meditated and done hypnotherapy or practice regression therapy, and we've gone into past lives, we've gone into future lives, we've gone into alternate realities, right? That's 6th dimensional viewing, okay? So your physical 3-dimensional body may not be going to those other places. You may not be time traveling like Back to the Future, right? But what we are in fact doing is time traveling through our consciousness, through our soul energy, right? Astral travel, the soul can travel out of the body and go into these different planes of existence. Again, a plane of possible worlds. So it's not just other planets and other universes, but in 6th dimensional reality, you're talking about the astral plane, the causal plane. So this is a real thing that we've been experiencing for quite some time, for likely everyone on this call, honestly. I can't imagine anybody tuning into this call that hasn't had those experiences. Now, the 7th dimension, you ready for this? I mean, this just starts getting really wild. 7th dimension, you have access to the possible worlds that start with different initial conditions. So in 6th dimensional reality, we can access other planets or planes that have the same sort of alchemy or formula as us. When you get into the 7th dimension, it doesn't even have to have the same formulas. It can be whatever it wants to be. You can go to those worlds, those possible planes of existence, okay? And here, everything is different from the beginning of time. So what that means is some planets start with the Big Bang. Some worlds may have created a different way. It doesn't matter how it was created. Once you get to the seventh dimension, everything's created all different, and it doesn't matter. You can see it all. All right. So now we go into the 8th, 9th, and 10th dimension. So the 8th dimension gives us a plane of such possible universe histories, each of which begins with different initial conditions and branches out infinitely. So you're really just thinking, once you get to that 7D reality and you can see all these different timelines and different planes of existence and different planets and different galaxies and all of these things, you see that they become infinite. There is no ending to these planets and worlds and galaxies. It just goes on and on and on. And in the 9th dimension, we can compare all of these possible universe histories, starting with the different possible laws of physics and initial conditions. And I want to talk about, because there's something here with the 9th dimension, and if we go back here to the 7th dimension, where we talk about comparing histories and changing histories. This is when we talk about shamanic soul retrieval. When you retrieve soul fragments, you may in fact be changing your soul's history. When we completed our fire ceremony in our seeker circle last night, we were asking to transform the history of our planet. That is a 7th, 8th, and 9th dimensional way of thinking, is the understanding or the belief, the perception of our reality, right? Dimensions are truly just the facets of our reality and how we perceive it. If our perception of reality is that we can in fact change and transform the history of our planet, we in fact are living in the 7th, 8th, 9th dimension, already there. So we can see the timeline of us destroying the earth through poor choices, or we can see the timeline of going into a golden age and seeing our planet completely heal and recover. And we are seeing that split and that dichotomy and that two different realities split with our own physical eyes in our current reality now, which is really mind-blowing. So when you think about it, we aren't in 5D. It is in fact correct that we are not in 5D. We are actually living beyond the 5D reality, because our own perception as spiritual beings at this time, and for everyone on this call and everybody watching live on YouTube and anyone who watches later, what we are actually seeing and experiencing is a reality split. And there is the reality of this new earth. And it is in fact manifesting based on our own decisions and choices, right? It's pretty cool. The 10th dimension, according to science, and this is string theory, is that we arrive at the point in which everything possible and imaginable is covered. Beyond this, nothing can be imagined by us. I love it. It says lowly mortals, coming from a reference, which makes it the natural limitation of what we can conceive in terms of dimensions. So that's 10 dimensions. Okay, so the idea is, and you know how science works, there's always more and more dimensions. They're actually talking about 33 dimensions. There's all sorts of conversation. The more I dig into it, I'm in the rabbit hole of dimensional reality. Okay, there's all these different ideas, because really what they're saying in string theory is the 10th dimension is kind of it, because we can't even perceive beyond that at this time. We just can't see beyond that. Or can we? Or can we? 11th dimension. What is the 11th dimension? Oh my gosh, I just love this stuff. I hope you guys are nerding out with me, because this is like so great, because this is where we're headed. This is where we're at today. This is what's happening now. So the 11th dimension is a characteristic of space-time that has been proposed as a possible answer to questions that arise in super string theory. Okay, so string theory goes to 10D, superstring theory goes to 11D, and it says in superstring theory, all the elementary particles in the universe are composed of vibrating one-dimensional mathematical objects known as strings. And I loved what this said here. This was from a different reference. Superstring theory is an attempt to explain all of the particles and fundamental forces of nature in one theory by modeling them as vibrations of tiny supersymmetric strings. Now, this is really, really profound, because I was shown this a month ago, and it's in my flow for members of my Ajatakasha group, it is described in the flow for the month of May, that we are in fact fractals of light traveling on spirals and fractals of light. And what I saw were these strings that they're talking about here, these super symmetric strings are actually these spirals of light, these little spiral strings of light that we're traveling on, that are making all of us up. It's also a direct correlation to what I have been shown by those who have passed away. I'm a medium, for those who don't know. For those who have passed away, when I've asked to see how they live, they're living as these light fractals, these strings of energy that are zipping all around in the energy fields and in consciousness. And so they're experiencing these 11 dimensions, and likely to the 33. I mean, let's get real. There's probably so much we don't even understand or know. And it's so beautiful and so amazing. So this is the 11 dimension. This is the idea, is that we are all made up of vibrations of tiny super symmetric strings, which, by the way, also correlates with gong yoga, nada yoga, which is sound yoga, and talking about sound. And the fractals of sound are also these strings of light that are impacting you, that are healing you through sound. This is what's coming through your hands when you're hand healing. I mean, it's really quite amazing when you dig into it. So how do we raise our frequency? Purify your diet with natural foods. Like, number one, if you have not received my 33-page guide, the Indigo Flow Guide to Natural Detox to Raise Your Vibration, it's free. You just go to my website, lisamgunshore.com, sign up on there. It pops right up, and you'll get a link to download that guide in your email. So download the guide. It tells you how to do all this. It's all in there. The spirit told me get it done in March, and this is why. So purify your diet with natural foods. Movement is so important. Walking, hiking, yoga, tai chi, qigong, I don't care. Move your body. Spiritual practice, contemplative practices, journaling, meditation, breathing practices, all of those things, all very important. Education, learning, those things are important. A community of like frequency. And that is what we're building here on Buddhist Biohacker, on this YouTube channel. That is what we're building on One Heart, One Earth Collaborative. This is also what we're building in the MeWe forum for Buddhist Biohacker and my Ajatakasha tribe. All of these things are vehicles to engage in a community of like frequency. And then the last piece here is conscious content and media, which again is what we are doing here. Come out of the negative media, come out of the theories, come out of the stories, come out of it, out, get out. Because where you want to be is in a place of conscious content and media. Ask yourself, who am I following? What am I following on whatever platforms that I'm on? Get on the MeWe platform. It's secure. It's a 5D and beyond social media platform. Watch this YouTube channel, watch other YouTube channels that are like frequency, that are conscious, that are bringing you into a space of positivity, that are talking about co-creation, and that are talking about how we can heal and build a new reality and a new planet. This is how you raise your frequency. So I'm coining the phrase. You've heard it here right now in this moment, 1111D. That is our vibration. That is our frequency. And I can feel it as I'm talking about it right now. We are 1111D. That is what we are. That is what Buddhist Biohacker is. That is what One Heart, One Earth is. That is what Ajatakasha is. That is all the things that we are doing collectively as a group, all of our groups and forums and channels and practices and teachings and schools and whatever we're doing. We are the 1111D frequency. It is up to us to hold that frequency and hold that light, which that frequency that I am coining today, the 1111D frequency, is that anything is possible and everything is real. Anything is possible and everything is real. And that is what we are doing here. That is what we are going to do each and every day. And I'm going to hand it over to Becky Prater. Let me stop sharing here. Here we go. And Becky, you're on deck. Go for it.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Hey, so I So in telling you who I am and introducing myself, all I really want to say is that I help people create what's in their heart to create. And I do this in a lot of different ways. I'm finding more and more. And so one of the things I wrote a book about vision boarding. And the thing that's so significant about this 1111 thing and this 11D is that, you know, the secret and the vision boards that we created are all based on our ability to imagine what our future is. And so, you know, I teach at the university level and I teach students and I say, hey, what do you want to do when you're done? And I can tell you, nobody knows. They can't imagine. And if they do, they think of 3 jobs they can have. And so if your future is based on your ability to conceive it, in my opinion, we're screwed, because my imagination, you know, vast as it is totally, completely limited by, you know, the things I've been exposed to. So I teach a process of vision boarding that steps beyond the idea of having to conceive it and imagine it. It cannot be limited in that way. Can't be limited by how valuable we think we are, how capable we think we are. It has to be beyond that, because the truth is we're capable of every single thing possible if we care about it enough. You know, if we enlist our entire group of people, all of our guides and all of the people we know and all the energy that we know we can tap into, we are capable of anything. I just know we are. If it's in our heart, it is something we are capable of. And so do we even know what's in our heart? That's the good question. So here's the thing too, that we have to kind of figure out what is actually in our heart to create. So a couple of things came to me. I'll get to this idea of this vision boarding in a sec. But this is what I got. This right now is such an important time in the history of our world. So the other day, this is amazing. It was a story or a situation that happened to me. I was awakened at night like 3 in the morning, and it wasn't like I was having a dream. Something happened to me, and I heard this thing like a noise. That's terrible. It said, trust completely. And this just superpower kind of came over me, like my whole body. And I'm thinking into myself, I wonder if my husband can tell this is happening, because this is just amazing. So it was like came over me, and out of my sort of womb space came all these things like light codes, souls, whatever. And it wasn't, I'm never really given a clear idea of what they are, because it's not for me to know, because I would judge if I knew. But I just got the sense that it was about maybe destructive. So I'm saying to my guys, hey, only good things could come through me. I will only allow those things that are in the highest good to come through me. And they're like, no, trust completely. So I did. So that happened. And all this stuff kind of came out. And then it was done. They came out. And then they said to me, now it's time to create what you want your future to be. That was like, you need to create it. And I then said, well, how do I know? I'm not an expert at any of this. And they're like, you know exactly what you need. And so I started throwing in, because I kind of have like these creation vessels in my head, like putting in the things I want to see: clean water, food for all people, clean, like oceans that are clean and filled with fish in abundance. All the things that we could all write a list. Like, we know what we want. We know how this should be. We know we need a restorative society that gobbles up trash somehow, so that our world cannot just not be not continue to get dirty or gross or polluted, but to actually have something that consumes that pollution, so that we can clean our planet actively. And so these are the things I'm putting in there. I wake up the next day and I'm like telling Lisa, I'm like, oh my God, this is so significant. What I know is that we need to come up with a vision for our planet, not just me and my life, because that's what I've done. I've done vision boards and helped people do vision boards. We need to collectively come up with a vision for our planet that we all contribute to. That's the thing. That's the big, big thing. So
my whole body is like on fire. I don't know about everybody else in the call, but I'm like feeling like, holy cow, it's like zipping through me, this energy. So keep going. Amazing.
Yeah, so I'll just go into that. So I had a couple other things I want to talk about, which I will do probably at the end. kind of where our status is right now. But this is what, and Lisa, this is what we'll talk about. So then Lisa, because when you get a couple of people together and you start talking, you'd like the energy spirals and it expands and you're just like, oh my God, and this and this and this. So then Lisa decides, okay, hashtag vision for our planet. So what we started doing, I know, is like building little memes that have what we want in this world. Like we've got to, okay, so here's the second part of the story. Then the next couple of days I was in this meditation, meditating with sacred geometry, which I help people learn how to do too. And I was meditating with this hexahedron, and I was like in that, and my head was like like kind of bonking up against something. I'm like, what in the world? Well, I realized I was in a space shuttle, and so I started going up in the space shuttle, and you know how they go up, and just the top part remains while the bottom falls away. And I realized that the answer is we are that space shuttle, and all the history and all the things that used to be are falling away and they got us there, but we can take ourselves to a whole new place. And all that stuff is just not important anymore. Like the fact that these are the 5 things you used to have to do in order to get to this space of enlightenment. No way. You can just jump into it. You can one day be in that space of 11D because you all of a sudden realize, oh my God, everything's different than what I thought, what happened. Like it's just like we can do anything. And this is the time. So we are that space shuttle. We are the ones that can just take this, not just us, but everyone we know, everyone that's connected to us can take us to this next level. And we're hoping that we can start like kind of a movement of, creating like Instagram posting art installation that will eventually be like an actual physical thing. Cause I think we're going to print out all the pictures, but what they'll be is like memes that with everybody using the hashtag vision for our planet. And it's just going to be.
I was going to say, I'm totally going to interrupt you, Becky. Yeah. But everybody get out your phones. I don't care if you're on the replay. I don't care if you're listening on the podcast. I don't care if you're here right now on Zoom or on Facebook or whatever you're doing on YouTube, but go to Instagram on your phones right now and go to hashtag vision for our planet, all spelled out, vision for our planet, and follow that hashtag. We've already started adding to our vision board for the planet Earth on that hashtag. Get on there because this is our commitment now, is we are creating a movement to create the vision for our future. This is our reality, our planet. This is what we want. And we are going to shine this beacon like no one has ever shined a beacon before. That is our hashtag. That is ours. And we are going to share that with everyone you know, everybody you know. Get them on there. Start sharing your posts. Start sharing your dreams, your visions, what is our reality? Okay, Becky, now you can talk again.
Yeah, absolutely. And just do it. You can tell we don't even have that many. We've got like 13 or something. So we need you guys to start putting things on there. Here's another thing. When you are in a space where people are talking about the negativity and what are we going to do? And oh my God, like I'm there every morning. I walk with these people that are heavy and fearful and judgmental. And oh my God, I have to like put sort of a little dragon energy around me to keep myself from buying into it. But we need to start talking about, well, what would you rather it be like? What are you hoping it will be like? Like, talk about that. Those people are going to love you because they're going to feel so good about when you leave, they're going to be like, whoa, what just happened? Like, that was so positive and made me feel so good. And that's what we're for. That's what we're there for. We are there to help raise people. And we don't have to say, hey, let's stop talking about this dumb shit. Let's talk about this new stuff and this new happy stuff. It doesn't even have to be that. Just like, oh my gosh, you guys, what do you want this to look like? How would you like this to be? Now's the time. Like, just start the new conversation. I just think that's the best thing. So this is going to be fun. And we're eventually going to make it into an actual thing, hoping to, you can take a bunch of pictures and put them into a bigger picture and create a whole picture. So we're not exactly sure what that's going to look like or where it's going to be, but that's what we're going to do. So there'll be all these this whole picture of the world, or galaxy or something with made up of all these pictures of all these things of the way we want it. And even if it's already there, like if I wrote something about walking barefoot, and if that's something you want to write, the same thing, put a different picture in the background. You don't even have to have pictures, just put a background. And to make these, if you guys don't already know this, but Canva is a great place to make little memes. Super, super easy. So do that. And I found one too, making memes and then putting them on Instagram. I don't know if you know this, but it's not easy. So you have to do it on latelysocial.com. I've used that platform and it actually works. So latelysocial.com, it's free. I just started it. So that would be a good one. And you can upload your meme and you can schedule from there, because I couldn't figure out how to get a meme on my phone. And there's a bunch of different ways, but that would be a way to do it if you guys have any questions or need help. Okay, I got one other thing. Okay, so there's a woman named Judy Satori. Anybody know her? She does this thing called light language. So she's like, hey, you does all those things with her. She's amazing. Like, she's talking about something and spreading the good word in a different language. She's from New Zealand, and she is like the brightest, sweetest light ever. And this is not new information. But I'm going to tell you that we were talking this morning, or I was listening this morning. She was talking about, the process of metamorphosis through a butterfly. So, it's an egg on a leaf, and then it comes out of the egg and eats the leaf and, fortifies itself and becomes a chrysalis. Then it goes through alchemization, and then it just emulsified and then becomes a butterfly. And when he comes out of that chrysalis and it's sitting on the leaf, we right now are standing on the leaf. We've emerged from the chrysalis and we're standing in the sun on the leaf, waiting for our wings to dry. That's where we are right now. That is where we are. And it's right now is not the time to fly. Like, in fact, as a butterfly, after the butterfly emergence, it doesn't even know it can fly. So it just stands there and it knows when it's ready. So the wings are, it flicks its wings some. It tries to, kind of figures out, gets a new sense of itself, and then it flies away without a knowledge beforehand of what it really is capable of doing. So right now, actually in the next 2 months, it seems like watch and see what's happening around you. See what is new in you. See how you are perceiving the world around you differently. Notice how you are new and how you've emerged from this chrysalis, and know that it's maybe not the time to fly right now. It's the time to understand and take stock in who you are. And here's another thing, I was talking about the gobbling up, like they eat the leaf and eat all this food and eat all this food. This reminds me of how much we try to read and learn from other people. We're reading, learning, gobbling. I need more information. And at some point, we need to stop and be who we are based on what we've gathered so far, based on what we've eaten and consumed, and then integrate all that information. And at some point, it becomes our information. It's our knowledge. It's our wisdom. It's our knowing. And then we fly and we teach others and we share with others, not based on, the certification I have and all these other things and all these other people that we give credit to for how we know or what we know, but actually just own it and say, this is what I know. And I believe that we are all at that place where we are almost like we are together and we're here to be sharing with each other because we need the support of each other in so many ways. But trust your knowing over the next couple of months and see where this takes you and how and where this is going to allow you to or guide you to fly. I think that's it.
I just love you. I love it. I love everybody here. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, could we open it up and just everybody chat?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to unmute everybody. And if you're on the live on YouTube, you're welcome to put your comments. We've got so many great comments on board, 111%. We're all ready to go. So I love that, but it's open, guys. And I'm actually going to put our gallery screen on. And if any of you guys want to share what you're feeling, what you're thinking, we are now in 1111D. We've made it here. How are you doing?
Buzzing for sure. But I've felt it for a while, but it's nice to have it explained in such a way. It's mind blowing. Yeah, my head is like, and my heart is like, ah, it's just so great. It's great to be here. It's great to have others that are feeling that and having a way to kind of put it into something that we can talk about it and share it and expand on it. I just, it's something I've felt for a long time. I mean, pretty much my whole life, a lot of times I look at the clock, it says 11:11 since I was really young, for all my life. And I'm about halfway through my human life at this point. And so that also is blowing my mind that this is no mistake that I am here with you in this 11:11D. I'm just ecstatic. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Who else? Anybody else want to share?
I don't know about anybody else, but I feel light and free, not just my physical being, but all of me. And I'm wondering, is anyone, I mean, it's inside me and outside me. It's in my whole universe. And I don't know, is anyone else feeling that way?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Good. It's
Can we get an oh, yeah from everybody?
Oh, yeah.
Carrie, tell your story about what happened to you. I want you to share if you don't mind. I know that's putting you on the spot.
Oh,
but...
no, not at all. Last night after the new moon ceremony, I went to my chair and sat down, and there was a white feather waiting there for me. I have no idea where it came from. Well, I do, but
Yeah.
it was just a special little gift. And then this morning I'm looking for something unrelated to anything but the dog's toenails. And I'm looking in every drawer and nook and cranny, and I must have put it in some logical place. So I went way to the back of one of my junk drawers, and I found, I wish I'd brought it out with me. I found this disc about that big. And it has a white seahorse on it that feels like it's made from stone, and it's inlaid into a probably resin that's luminescent. And I thought, I have never seen this before. And I turned it over and it said, I am joyful. I am joyful. And I thought, yes, this is the day. This is the day.
That's amazing. You better get a picture of that seahorse up on our hashtag.
Okay.
That is like the remembrance of Atlantis and the Pleiades and just, oh man, yes. That's, you know, what's funny is you talk about the white seahorse, and my husband sent me an article like 10 minutes before this call that somebody saw a white grizzly bear.
Oh yeah, I saw that ad thing about that.
Wow.
So it's all there. Anybody else want to share thoughts, feelings, stories? Everybody's chill. It's okay.
Hey, well, you know what I could say? Here's a couple things. So when you guys talk about this vision board thing, what I do when I take people through like strategic life planning or building a vision board for yourself, I do it according to the feng shui matrix. Are you guys familiar with feng shui and the bagua? And so you can see like, so it's like this. So when we, like, the idea is that these categories would be things that we would address in our vision boarding for the planet. So it would be, you know, topics of love and relationship, fame and reputation. Like that might be about politics, and how nice it would be to have leaders that we actually love and trust, and have some integrity. Oh my God, that'd be amazing. Might actually have to be us, you guys. Oh, wealth and abundance, health and wellness, skills and knowledge, authentic self and spirituality, career and path in life, travel, helpful people. So like when we build vision boards for us as individuals, we address all of those points in this like matrix of, actually, you guys, I have mine up. Let me share my screen. Could you let me share my screen? And I'll show you what my personal vision board is, so that you guys can see what this is, and then think about this as your okay, here it is. As you are envisioning what we're going to do for this planet. Okay, so you can see that like this one is about relationship. And you know what you want to do is have it be as positive as you possibly can say. If you're going to add any words, don't say something like, I'm not in debt. Like that's all just negative. The energy of that is so negative because it just keeps you in that. So you want to, do it as in as many in positive words. So like my abundance one, I have all the resources I need to bring my behavior into alignment with my values. I learn, grow, write, travel, save, and give effortlessly. I'm abundant. So it's important to have like statements of as though you already have it. This is what we already have in our world. That's what we want. And if you guys get in a process and you're thinking about this and you can't figure it out, then go in and think about, just for a minute, step into what makes you happiest. So maybe it's looking at a child, or maybe it's watching kids play outside, or maybe it's hearing kids playing on a playground and like the swings clanking against the metal. Those things that just make us happy. That's the stuff we want to contribute to this vision. More of that. So I thought maybe that might be helpful. So it's just like a picture and words. So however you guys want to do this would be, we just need you to, we want you to participate and spread the word. So like if you guys have people, like if you do it and your people see it, because you probably have a bunch of followers on your Instagram, they'll see it and we'll just build and build and build it. And hopefully it'll just be huge. I mean, we did this 2 days ago and I've got people like following already on it. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, how'd they find it? So that, I just think if it's the right thing, it's going to happen. And I've always felt, I totally know that this is true. I don't know how, but I know it is. The algorithms that are happening, that are possible. Like I know that Facebook has stinky algorithms that you hardly see anybody's stuff. Same with, it's mostly ads, but I believe that there's some magic possible in the algorithms. I believe there's a magic that people that need to see this information will see this information. And I don't know how they will, but it'll show up somehow. I just feel like that's true, because it seems to me like the whole universe and all the positive energy that is out there could very easily, surprisingly bring information into people's worlds that need it. And when we're starting to talk about the right information, the things that the universe needs people to know about, they're going to put it in front of those people effortlessly. That's one of mine. That is one of the things I'm going to have to put on the vision board. Effortlessly spreading our message of wonder and awe or whatever.
Yes.
Well, Becky.
Oh, you guys, thank you for being on this call, and thank you for joining us on the live. For those of you that are on YouTube right now, live, thank you for being here. Thank you, Becky. Thank you, all of you guys. 1111D, there is so much more to come, but this is it. And we take this vibration and we spread it far and wide. It is time to wake up. It is time to see that anything is possible and everything we believe is real. Everything. I love all of you. Mwah.
Thank you so much. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.